If you are looking for a job this year in 2020, and specifically looking for a job as a florist or floral designer, how do you go about doing that, and what's going to be expected of you if you're able to get a job as a floral designer? That's today's topic. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Frank Blanchard AIFD, and like I said, and my question being, if you are looking for a job this year and potentially maybe you are looking for your first job as a florist or floral designer, or maybe you have worked a career for quite a few years and now you're thinking about changing careers, and you've always had a desire to work in a flower shop or to have a flower shop. How do you go about getting started, and what's possibly going to be expected of you when you get out there and start looking for a possible job opportunity with a florist as a floral designer? Now, I've worked in the floral industry for well over 30 years. I've worked for a lot of other people, I've been a manager for other people, and I've also owned my own business. So I've got quite a breadth of knowledge on this topic, and it's kind of a tough one. A lot of people think that working in the floral industry as a floral designer or florist would be a wonderful job to have, which it is. It's a beautiful job to have, being surrounded by flowers and plants every day, and it's a fabulous industry to be a part of. However, there is kind of a misconception that working with flowers is a fun job and it's just butterflies and roses every day, and wouldn't it be great to work with flowers? Again, it is all of that. However, it is also an extremely hard business to work in. It is not easy. There is a lot of hard work involved, and sometimes there is a lot of hard physical work to be done working as a floral designer. Now, I wanted to bring this up specifically right now in 2020. It's October at the time that I'm filming this, and I wanted to bring this up because right now in 2020, because of the whole pandemic thing going on in the world, and everybody is shopping online, flower shops, specifically full-service flower shops, some, depending on where they're located and where you are located, some are having a really hard time because of the economy. Then in other places and in many parts of the country, at least in the United States, a lot of florists this year are having a gangbuster year and are doing really well with sales. So there are a lot of florists out there that are continuing to stay busy, and we're about to start getting into the holiday season of Thanksgiving, Christmas, the winter holidays of Hanukkah, etc. So this typically is a time of year where retail flower shops, especially full-service retail flower shops, are getting busier. And I know there are a lot of shops out there right now that are looking for good employees. Not necessarily designers. Some places just need a good all-around worker. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And it's also a good way to get your foot in the door if you're wanting to get a job with a full-service florist. Now, if you are seeking a job as a floral designer, those jobs are definitely out there too. And I've been hearing from a lot of clients and a lot of colleagues in the industry that they're having a hard time finding people that would like a job and also have the experience and knowledge to do the job. So I wanted to cover just a few things with you to help you be successful in a job hunt if you are seeking a job with a full-service florist. Now, there are also a lot of florists and floral designers out there that maybe have businesses that their business has primarily been with wedding and event work. Because of the pandemic this year and the whole economic situation that we're in, but mostly the pandemic, a lot of weddings and big events that we typically do flowers for have not been happening. So a lot of those floral designers and florists and business owners have been having to switch gears and pivot their business model in order to continue to be working as a florist and switching to more of a full service florist concept for their business model. Now, what's expected of a floral designer? It kind of totally depends on where you are in the country. If you are in a large metropolitan city, those shops have a whole different feel. They have a whole different clientele. They have a whole different set of expectations than a flower shop in a small town is going to have. So you have to take those things in mind. When you are looking for a job with a florist, especially a full service florist, in order to get a job, one, it is helpful to have some sort of a resume and a bit of a portfolio. This is a time of year that traditionally is also good to be looking for a job as a florist or floral designer because it is the time of year when florists are typically getting busier. So they oftentimes might be needing additional help to start at this time of year. So I would suggest starting to make some phone calls to florists in the area that you are looking for a job opportunity. As a floral designer, it does help to have some experience. There are other videos on YouTube right now that talk about how to get a job as a florist or floral designer without experience. But depending on where you are and the flower shop that you are applying with, that doesn't necessarily fly. It definitely is helpful to have experience. If you have some formal training that you got either by going to a floristry or floral design school or some actual on-the-job experience, that can be in your benefit. When you do go in for an interview with a full-service type florist, if that's really the kind of job that you want to seek out and get yourself in the door for, one of the things that you very likely will be expected to do as part of the interview process is to do a bit of a bench test. What's a bench test? Well, a bench test is typically when the florist or floral design company that you are applying with will either give you a few orders to do, or maybe they'll ask you to make a few things to put in their display cooler, or they might even just give you a few orders to fill. And they are specifically looking at your overall design skills, your knowledge of how to put things together and to do it correctly, because there are wrong and right ways of doing things. And they're also looking for your speed and accuracy. Now, I say that because if you've never worked in a full-service flower shop before, if it is a full-service flower shop that does daily deliveries for people for things like flower gifts for somebody's birthday, or a get well gift to somebody at a hospital, or maybe somebody's grandparents are having an anniversary, so somebody wants to send anniversary flowers. If it's that kind of a flower shop that you're applying with, a lot of your pay is based on how much you can actually produce in a short amount of time. So a lot of that is why you might be asked to do a bench test, because in the busier a shop is, the faster you're going to be expected to be able to produce finished projects so that they can get out the door for delivery. So if you do have some experience, that's really helpful. Now, if you don't have any experience, but you're still wanting to get a job in a flower shop and you're wanting to get started in the industry, things nowadays in 2020 that can be very helpful for you if you can get your foot in the door, and things that can help you get in the door with a business, is having social media skills. If you are knowledgeable about how social media works, and specifically marketing on social media, that can be in your benefit. If you know how websites work and how they should work, again, that can be an added benefit for you. But bottom line is, probably more than anything else, you've got to have good customer service skills. You have to be polished when working in a flower shop, meaning your customer service skills have to be spot on. Part of that also is having good phone skills and being able to answer incoming calls in a timely manner, and being able to help the customer or the person on the other end of the line with whatever it is that they need. So quite frequently, we might get employees coming in or applying for a job that might be good in one area, but they aren't so great in others. The more versatile you are, and the more knowledge you have in a broad spectrum of potential projects, is always in your favor. So that's something to consider. But at this time of year, if you really want a job in a flower shop, now's a perfect time to get out there. And if you really want it, I would also suggest not calling a flower shop, but just go and pay them a visit. And if you have a resume on hand that you can hand them, that would be great. And just let them know that you're in the process of trying to find a new job, within the floral industry, you like what they do, and wanted to see if they were doing any hiring. Part of getting a job and those jobs that you want as a floral designer, the fastest way to do it really is to be willing to talk to people and just get right in there, stick your neck out, and start a conversation with them. Another way that you can also do this is by means of social media. More and more florists are starting to promote and advertise the fact that they might be needing additional design staff on their company business page. So that's another way now in 2020 that you have the ability to start the conversation with people that are potentially seeking employees, and they might just love what you do, especially if you have any of your work on your social media profiles. And that's a great way to get your foot in the door and start the conversation. The sooner you can start the conversation, it's easier to work your way into a position with the florist. So, now, in 2020, if you're looking for a new job with the flower shop, things to have and make sure that you are ready to go with this stuff so that you can really impress the heck out of them and also prove that you know your stuff and can actually do stuff. One, have a good working resume, or have a good working resume online that they can look at. Especially if you've got a LinkedIn profile, polish that up. Also, your social media profiles need to be polished up and look professional. That's number one. Number two, make sure that you have a really good idea as to what kind of a job that you're really looking for. Because working in a flower shop, especially if they are busy, is going to be hard work. It's not always going to be fun, and sometimes it's going to be downright crazy, especially going into the holiday season. And you've got to be able to produce things in a timely manner. Now, some shops might actually have a position open, and this is a good way to get your foot in the door, for a good all-around person who's not actually doing design work. They might just want somebody who's really good at taking orders over the phone, answering the phone, helping customers when they come in the door, or helping customers online to make those sales, and to be an all-around extra set of hands anywhere they might need some extra help. And it might not necessarily be designing flowers. It might be processing flowers and just getting them in water, etc. Be willing to start wherever they need help. It's always possible to work your way up, and think of any potential job opportunity with a retail florist as an opportunity to gain some experience. Because if you really want to get into the floral industry and get those dream positions, those kinds of jobs have a lot of expectations, and you do have to have a lot of experience to get those positions. So any little bit of work that you can start doing within a flower shop in your town is good for your experience and adding to your portfolio of work in the flower business. So if you're interested in getting a job in a flower shop and potentially working as a floral designer, get out there and start getting your name out to the florists in your area, because you would be surprised If you reach out to them first, even if they aren't advertising, you never know what opportunities might be waiting for you out there in the floral industry. If you like this information, definitely give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. This is the kind of information that I share on my channel. It's really kind of all aspects of the floral industry. A lot of what I do is geared specifically to marketing and a flower business's online presence. But I'm also going to be starting to do design inspiration and sharing design techniques with you, as well as how to get started in the business as a floral designer and florist. So until next time, if you want to be notified when I upload a new video, definitely hit that bell icon down below, and that way you'll get those notifications when I do upload new content for you. And Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays are my upload days for new videos for you here on YouTube. Until next time, be well, everybody. Get out there and pound that pavement, so to speak, and see what you can drum up in the way of fantastic opportunities in the floral industry, because I know they're out there, because people have actually been asking me point blank, how do I find new employees? So it's good timing. Until next time, bye for now, everybody.